This is probably going to be the toughest question you get tonight. Why should we let you lead the Senate?
You know, we deal with these issues every year, and I will say, I forget who commented, the Virginia State Senate got better for the Second Amendment when the Democrats took over in 2007. I'm not proud to tell you that, but the facts are what they are. You know, we don't struggle there. We struggle at the governor's level. I mean, it was Kane that's been vetoing good bills. We need to see him out the door with a gubernatorial candidate that will support the Second Amendment far better than he has. And the fact of the matter is, all the grassroots campaigning that I've been doing well prepares the next nominee behind me, a Republican nominee, to hold that seat. We'll be in good shape there. Yes, sir. Okay. It's been days since I've seen him.
Yeah. As the saying goes, what have you done for me lately? So, with that in mind, what are you going to do this legislative session to prove to gun owners that you are, in fact, our friend?
Well, I'd hope that the 6 years of time I've put in and all the fights I've fought on offense and defense don't leave me in a position where I have too much to prove. However, this year, I mean, I'm just doing what I believe. It isn't that I'm here to kiss your boots. I ran for office to defend the Constitution, and you all happen to be my ally in it. You know, you get all these attacks. Oh, the NRA gave Cuccinelli $1,500. They own him. Well, you know, they're giving me $1,500 because I vote the right way. You know, it does work the other way sometimes. I have here an AG opinion, a good one from Bob McDonnell with respect to open carry in state parks. And I just found out a day or two ago from the governor's office finally that they are not going to implement, they're not going to get rid of their regulations that block open carry in state parks. So now, what I suspect I'll end up doing this year, and we're just now in the planning stages to look at our options, is to challenge this. I'm holding the opinion. I'm not going to challenge the opinion. The opinion is right. The governor is wrong. We have the right, oddly enough, for concealed carry. It's the opposite of restaurants. You know, you can conceal carry in a park. Don't go to a restaurant. You can open carry in a restaurant. Don't go to a park. I mean, what if you had want a picnic somewhere? I mean, I suspect that undoing the department's intransigence on this issue is what I will personally be focusing on this year. You know, we do have obviously an election this year, and the gubernatorial race, given the makeup of the Senate, is probably going to determine what we're able to do in the next 4 years. So, you know, keep your eye on that very closely. I hope that helps. So that's what you can expect out of me this year. And I imagine we're going to get the usual onslaught to play defense on. Yes, sir.
Ken, real quick, I have one you could introduce. Seems to me, when I look at the open carry issue, a lot of the law enforcement community is pleads unaware, or they don't understand the law. So most of it's harassment. Would you introduce something that requires all sworn officers and first responders to pass some form of test that said they actually looked at the at those codes and understand them to fully, so that way the chief of police in some locations can't say, hey, if they didn't understand, we'll educate them now. I think they should already know it if they're carrying a badge.
Well, maybe police. When you say first responders, I think of firefighters and EMS and stuff, and they, you know, they don't really have.
Well, dispatch for law enforcement would be good to know.
You know, obviously, I expect them to know the law, and I live right near Manassas. I know about the problems in Manassas and Southeast Virginia, and we do have an officer education issue to address there, because I'm not anti-police by any means. They put themselves on the line for our communities every day, and I've been a strong supporter of theirs, but the Constitution comes first, and that's true for any of us. So, you know, that is an effort I would push on, and frankly, in the last year or two, and maybe it's just my perspective, that's gotten worse. Maybe it's that I live near Manassas and we've had particular problems there, but that is something that I would support. Now, I saw a hand. Yeah, yes, sir.
You mentioned state parks. Would you also include national forests in that too? So that's run by DGIF.
Yeah, basically anywhere that state government has authority. Obviously, you know, we contend with the feds, and I understand the Bush administration, and this is part of what the governor's office told me, just put in they changed their rules in federal parks in the last couple of weeks. And I've got to study up on that, because I only found out about that 2 days ago. So, but anywhere the state government has authority, I mean, we passed preemption. You know, the state parks don't have the right to block us from carrying. Concealed, open, for law-abiding citizens, we should be able to carry. I mean, it's that simple. And you know, I heard the college question. You know, they don't have the legal authority to pass the regulations they're passing that trump what the General Assembly has said. Now, one way to deal with that is for an individual to simply challenge it in court and say, hey, I want to go walk at George Mason and this blocks me, so I have standing. But the problem with doing it at the legislative level is you've got to succeed. Because, and I say, that sounds funny, but if you don't, you end up setting a reverse precedent that the courts will interpret as meaning taking the side of the universities. So, you know, that's a danger that we have in that area.
Good, so, okay, well, we're out of time.
Can I make one last point? I heard a Real ID question earlier. I have a Real ID bill this year to block any of the awful liberty-attacking provisions of Real ID. You know, I appreciate y'all's support for that too.
We'll have to look at the bill.
But yeah, it's being covered now, so it'll be hopefully up sometime next week, depending on how fast they can work
We've
out.
already determined to support those bills.
Yeah. So, and from my perspective, it's really more of a liberty question than it is a dollar question. Dollars matter, but again, Constitution comes first, and liberty is the point of the Constitution.
Real quick question there, did they give Richmond the 19th and the 20th off?
I do not know.
Because that's what I heard on the radio.
I don't know the
Both
So the
days.
General Assembly will meet on the 19th. They always do.
Yeah, no, you're talking about this month?
I'm talking about next month. For the
He's talking about
inauguration, the
Oh.
18th and the 20th, I heard.
I have
heard
not,
both days
we have
were-
never taken a day off for anything in the 6 years I've been
Okay,
there,
well, that's what
so.
they announced on the radio.
I think they're talking about government.
Yeah, I think they may be government, not the General Assembly. We don't take days off for anything.
Okay.
So, at least not weekdays, and we, you know, we're in there on weekends after they do.
Okay.
Thank you all very much. I look forward to